Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, we're getting a divorce, but you still have to go do this. I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me.
The one factor related to him being a danger to the community. The other factor being how he would potentially obstruct witnesses. Now, critical in the prosecutor's arguments at those previous hearings was the fact that there's this tape that everyone has seen, and they said, prosecutors did, that tape was in the context of a freak-off. It was in the context of sex trafficking.
You guys, buckle up, because the tea just exploded all over the courtroom floor. Shocking new claims have dropped about what Diddy allegedly did to Aaron Carter, and baby, it's not just eyebrow-raising. It's a full-blown scandal tsunami. Diddy's legal team, they're not just stressed. They are in full-blown panic mode. And I mean, sweating through their designer suits. Panic. The whispers swirling around the courtroom that this might be the moment everything crumbles. They're preparing for the worst because, honey, it's not looking like Diddy's walking away from this unscathed.
The rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody. If some of the accusations are true, that kind of covers things. You know, when folks vanish.
Let's rewind to 2022. That year, Aaron Carter was said to have tragically drowned in his bathtub. But come on, really? A grown man just mysteriously drowns in his own house and that's the end of the story? Absolutely not. People weren't buying it then, and they sure as hell aren't buying it now. Something about it felt off from the jump. And now those doubts are flooding back with a vengeance.
Partied with Diddy. It's hard for me to truly get invested in what's happening to Liam Payne right now because I haven't gotten over what happened to Nick. Nick's brother, Aaron Carter.
Right.
A lot of people keep forgetting Aaron Carter was begging for help, begging for independent financing, begging for security.
Now, this is where things spiral into jaw-dropping territory. So get this. Word is Aaron Carter was this close to spilling some serious tea about Diddy's alleged secret freak-offs. That's right. Those freaky, wild after-dark events people have whispered about for years. Aaron allegedly had the receipts, y'all. But right before he could go public, boom, he's gone. The timing, suspicious, doesn't even begin to cover it. And while the world tried to make sense of his sudden death, Diddy's skeletons started crawling out of every corner. Now more people, real people, are speaking up, and it's getting uglier than anyone could have imagined.
Of the testimony in the sex trafficking trial against Sean Combs ended with a former member of one of Combs' musical groups on the witness stand. Dawn Richard says that she saw Combs attack Cassie Ventura in 2009. Richard is suing Combs in federal court, accusing him of sexual assault and battery. She'll be back on the witness stand on Monday. Richard's civil lawsuit is still pending.
Diddy's name, it's being dragged through the mud, soaked in allegations that are way beyond anything we've seen before. We're talking serious criminal claims. Authorities allege he was running some twisted underground setup, moving people across state lines, hiding dirty money, using his fame to manipulate and abuse. And yes, assaulting his ex is on that list. This isn't internet gossip anymore. This is federal court, baby, and the whole country is watching every single second.
People are watching. They need to remember trials involve humans, and humans are messy. So you don't have any purity tests in terms of your witness is on the stand and has never done anything wrong, or your defendant is on the stand and has never done anything right. There's a lot going on both sides, and it really is up to the jury to ferret that out as long as they are given the right facts and the proper instructions from the judge.
In just 1 week, the dam broke wide open. Disturbing claims started pouring in, and the flood of silence that once protected Diddy, it's cracking. Former employees who used to be tight-lipped are now spilling the behind-the-scenes nightmares. Even Dawn Richard and Cassie's own best friend stepped up to the mic and dropped some truth bombs that shook everyone to the core.
Chloe, we know Cassie Ventura's former best friend is also testifying today. What has she said so far?
So her name is Carrie Gordon, and when Cassie Ventura was on the stand last week, she talked a lot about this friend of hers that witnessed a lot of the abuse and that this was someone that she confided in. And Miss Gordon, she's already taken the stand for a few hours. Right now they're on a lunch break and she's expected to return this afternoon. And she said, look, I don't really even want to be here. I was given a subpoena. I'm forced to be here to testify. I haven't spoken to Combs or Miss Ventura since 2018, and that's because Combs assaulted.
And then, oh honey, the FBI kicked in the door, literally. They pulled the curtain back on what they found in Diddy's homes, and the public went into shock. His legal team scrambled hard, launching defense after defense, throwing legal jargon like confetti, trying to shut it all down. But the feds? Oh, they came prepared.
2 properties associated with him. We saw the feds descend on those properties. We saw on aerial footage federal agents both here in the Los Angeles area as well as in Miami at those residences. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, their what's called HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, gave CNN a statement. I'll read you part of that when asked about what this activity is. They say that earlier today, HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners.
Because this ain't just about one man. This is about how fame and money can turn into something monstrous. According to federal prosecutors, Diddy didn't act alone. They say he had a whole team, yes, a team of people helping him carry out shady business. We're talking drug trafficking, illegal transportation of people, and stacks of cash stashed in places you'd never guess. And when agents raided his Miami and LA homes, they didn't come out empty-handed. Oh, no. They walked out with hard drives, hidden files, suspicious computers, and bagfuls of cold, hard cash. This is no basic celebrity scandal. This is a full-force FBI, IRS, and Homeland Security joint operation. It's that real.
What the feds had collected, at least in part. We also learned the charges that Diddy faced: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. And again, Diddy's pleaded not guilty and denies those allegations. But this indictment, this OG indictment, which by the way, there's been a couple of superseding ones, adding a couple charges here and there. Anyway, going back to the holy grail of it all, the original indictment, that's where we learned about what was collected, including all of that lube and baby oil.
Y'all, this isn't a rumor anymore. This entire thing is happening in a courtroom with actual lawyers, real-life judges, and brave witnesses who are finally stepping up to speak their truth. And some of those truths, they'd been locked away for years.
They said that there were controlled substances used, and this was specifically to allegedly keep the victims obedient and compliant. The feds also state that during these freak-off situations, recording devices were used. Now, sometimes the people involved in the freak-offs, allegedly, didn't know that they were being recorded. And then other times, Diddy and his team, allegedly, would use these recordings as revenge porn and say, hey, if you come forward and report this to anyone, we've got this really embarrassing video. Why would you do that? So that's an allegation too. The feds also say that IV fluids were used in all of this, specifically because the people involved in the freak-offs had to recover from physical exertion and drug use.
One of the most chilling moments of week 1 came when Aaron Carter's name was dropped in court. Yep, that Aaron Carter, the pop star who tragically passed away in 2022. Long before his death, he had been sounding alarms about shady industry dealings, posting videos and tweets warning that powerful people were trying to silence him, manipulate him, and basically strip away his freedom. And when his name came up, you could hear a pin drop. The whole courtroom froze.
My Twitter, and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on.
And then came the bombshell testimony. One witness revealed that Aaron had tried to expose the darkness behind the music industry's closed doors. They didn't outright say Diddy had a hand in Aaron's death, but the implications, chilling. The circumstances surrounding his death have always felt murky, but now people are seriously wondering if we've only seen the tip of the iceberg.
Aaron Carter was found dead in a bathtub in his home in Los Angeles last November. Since that time, TMZ has reported the LA County coroner did not find water in his lungs, meaning he didn't drown. Carter's mother, Jane Schneck, posted photos on Facebook that show the bathroom where her son was found. She wrote on Facebook, "Because of my son's mental illness and prescription drug issues, they, the cops, just wanted it to be something easy that they didn't have the time or inclination to address." Schneck wants a more thorough investigation. She wrote that her son was receiving threats from many people, and she believes there were people out there who wanted to harm him.
TMZ had initially reported there was no water found in Aaron's lungs, which means, yeah, he didn't actually drown. His own mother, Jane Schneck, posted photos from the scene and claimed the police rushed to close the case because of Aaron's past struggles.
They haven't come back with toxicology results yet. So at this point, and as you know, medical examiners and coroners are, I don't want to use the term notorious, but it takes time for these things to be fully realized because these tests take time. You don't, in a death investigation, you don't want things hurried up. And it seems as though some parties that are involved in this case want it sped up. And that's the most dangerous thing.
Back inside court, the tension was thick. Diddy's lawyers went full defense mode. His top attorney claimed this was a media witch hunt, telling the judge that the feds were recycling old stories and clickbait just to make Diddy look guilty. But baby, the courtroom wasn't buying it so fast.
Diddy's case causing online chatter over the shocking discovery. The rapper's attorney telling all to TMZ as the outlet dives deep into the ongoing trial in their documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictment, streaming on Tubi.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for.
Yeah, it's the number of bottles going viral on social media, with Diddy's longtime nemesis, 50 Cent, dropping this meme on X.
Things got so heated, Diddy's lawyer literally raised his voice in front of the judge. He accused the government of staging the raids for drama. "This is all theater," he shouted. "They're painting my client as guilty before he's had his day in court." And the judge? Well, they weren't exactly clapping back with sympathy either. This case is turning into a real-life soap opera, and every episode is crazier than the last.
I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. I mean, have you sat in a parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
TMZ reached out to Costco. Their rep says none of their U.S. locations carry baby oil.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I don't think it was 1,000. Let's just say it's a lot, okay?
Diddy's team is now trying everything to block more evidence from surfacing. They're claiming it's all just hearsay, that people are chasing fame and headlines. But prosecutors, they came locked and loaded. They argued this wasn't gossip. This was a pattern, a sick, twisted pattern of moving people like chess pieces, feeding them substances, and manipulating them into situations they never consented to. Some of the accusations made the courtroom go dead silent.
Critical to his denial on bail were really two factors. The one factor related to him being a danger to the community. The other factor being how he would potentially obstruct witnesses. Now, critical in the prosecutor's arguments at those previous hearings was the fact that there's this tape that everyone has seen, and they said, prosecutors did, that tape was in the context of a freak-off. It was in the context of sex trafficking. It was in the context of him being violent as it related to that count in the indictment against Miss Ventura, right, who's referred to as victim one.
The feds say the whole thing was disguised behind fake companies, hush-hush, NDAs, and fear. Diddy's homes, reportedly built like high-tech fortresses. Agents found hidden rooms, surveillance in every hallway, and safes filled with, you guessed it, piles of cash. Oh, and there was a list labeled "Do Not Contact," filled with names and numbers. Like, what even was that?
But here now comes the defense saying, hey, by the way, the prosecution has misled you, court. This had nothing to do with a freak-off, as is alleged, which were the parties that he was allegedly having, that is P. Diddy, with all of these instances going on with coerced sexual activity, etc., had nothing to do with that. It also had nothing to do with sex trafficking. This was a domestic dispute. Now, it doesn't make the violence in the tape Boris, any more tenable, right? Violence is violence. It shouldn't have happened, but it gives it context. Now, when you get get down to the manipulation of the tape, the reordering of the tape. Did you mislead the court? If they did, that's a factual question. A judge won't be too happy. Second brief point, and that is they're also arguing, the defense team, that there's the issue concerning his ability to prepare and be ready for trial. If you're going through and rummaging through his notes and other records that are attorney-client privileged and peeping at them and looking at them and using them against them, how could he prepare for trial?
Then came one of the biggest mic drop moments yet. Witnesses who once stood beside Diddy are now flipping the script. A former bodyguard, yes, someone who was once hired to protect Diddy, is now testifying against him. And just when you thought it couldn't get more real, a hotel security guard took the stand too, backing up Cassie's horrifying story. Y'all, this wasn't vague speculation. These people confirmed details. Insiders are piecing together a picture that looks more like a horror movie than the glam world Diddy portrayed. And trust, this picture is dark, scary, and absolutely damning.
It was confirmed that Diddy was truly deeply evil. The evidence was right there. It was the final piece of the puzzle, revealing that Diddy had spent his entire life taking advantage of others to the point where his music empire was nothing but a front for his sick obsessions. At the same time though, Diddy's arrest somehow created a lot more questions than it answered. We all knew he was a bad guy. Don't get me wrong, but now we're realizing that it went so much deeper, with Diddy starting to look like his sick, disturbing crimes might rival those of Jeffrey Epstein or Harvey Weinstein. Not just one bad actor, but instead the leader of a criminal operation carrying out revolting abuse and exploitation.
And now let's talk digital evidence, because it's about to shake the table. Federal agents got their hands on Diddy's private hard drives, secret burner phones, and folders stashed deep in his computers. And one folder, get this, it was labeled The Vault. Yes, The Vault. What's in it? No one knows yet. But the court hinted that it might be game-changing, and it could be revealed any day now. This trial isn't just another scandal, it's shaping up to be one of the most explosive courtroom battles in the history of the music industry. Diddy's entire empire, once seen as untouchable, is now cracking wide open. We're watching a mogul's empire crumble, live and in real time. And guess what? Week 2? It's about to be messier than ever. More witnesses from the music world are stepping forward. And the government is reportedly prepping video footage from the raids that's so sensitive, cameras might get banned when it's shown. And that freak-off talk? Oh, it's back. And it's wild. The defense is now saying all of it was consensual, brushing it off with bizarre arguments like, Diddy's love for baby oil isn't a crime. Yes, they actually said that. And there's more. The court's expected to hear from Ventura's former best friend, Carrie Morgan. Her name's been circling for days, and now she's stepping into the spotlight. She was there before Ventura even met Diddy and stayed close until, get this, Diddy allegedly hit her. That moment shattered their friendship, and now she's backing Ventura's version of events piece by piece. And that's what makes this so gut-wrenching. Behind all the glitz, glam, and freak-off parties is a father who's watching his family's life move on without him. His absence at their prom is more than just a missed party. It's a symbol of how far he's fallen. And here's where it gets even darker. Week 1 of the trial blew the roof off this entire story. It exposed secrets the industry buried for years. And now week 2, oh, it's about to set the courtroom on fire. More witnesses, more files, more never-before-seen footage. The government's not slowing down, and Diddy's legal team is swinging wildly to hold it together. But make no mistake, the public is glued to every second of this. The entire music industry is holding its breath. Diddy is now in the biggest fight of his life, and there's no PR team that can spin this one. The road ahead? Unpredictable, dangerous, potentially career-ending. So, what do you think? Will more celebs be exposed? Will the vault get opened? Will this case take down more than just Diddy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell, because this trial, it's just getting started.